Good morning, everybody. Stopped at the Golden Arches to fuel up. Julie's going to sleep, so I won't have any company for the road trip, but we're not super far away at this point. Alright, finally got to Lake Geneva, and it's windy and cold. And the wind's just gonna probably keep getting worse, but we'll do a few miles out here. Show you guys Lake Geneva.
So where can you camp? You said you can camp over here?
There's a campground somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is from here, but somewhere there is a campground.
Living here and you have your own private dock?
Yeah.
That's insane.
You could be renting out jet skis to people as a business. So this is the trail right here. Sometimes it's maintained, sometimes a little overgrown. I guess the house owners, the whole shore is just houses on houses, and I guess they're the ones that take care of it, but we're getting to some paved areas here. There he is. Hey buddy, where are you headed? Yeah, look at you go. All right, everybody. Since we don't want to get our feet soaked right now, we just came on a little day hike. We're gonna go explore the other side some more. That's getting flooded right there. That's our pathway. And then I'm assuming that there's gonna be more of that along the shore, so I don't know. A little view. And the path goes right by a little sample that you can see. This basically, if you're doing a through hike over this loop, it's right by people's houses. And it's just too flooded today, so we're gonna enjoy Lake Geneva, walk around there a little more. But
there's more boards all the way out there, and then there's one right there.
yeah, look at all
They're everywhere.
That's a pool party right there.
Oh my gosh.
Little pools. That right there is a water trampoline. I'm gonna go jump on that.
These poor rich people is losing their piers.
Yeah. Well, how was your day, Jeeves? Well, I lost my pier there, and my yacht floated down the river.
All that money down the drain.
Yeah. But yeah, they're recovering all the pieces right now. There's people running around, taking boards up, picking stuff up, but it's getting worse. The winds are just picking up here. Look at that.
Oh, look at this whole thing destroyed. Oh.
That's not funny, Julie.
I know it's not funny. I'm just saying that's
Historic Lake Geneva. Yeah. This is our trail, these cool boards. Look at these Lake Geneva mansions, and they're just building more and more of them now that the economy has been recovering. They're constructing them all over the place. But it's beautiful here. Finally the winds are kind of calming down a little bit. So there's the trail. And this is basically, we go all around the whole Lake Geneva. That's on the to-do list, but you basically go in people's backyards. How'd you like the trail so far, Julie?
It's nice.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. I like looking at all the houses.
Yeah, it's cool. These are cool. Wouldn't that be the life? Living right on your own kayaks right there. Man, that would be nice. I've been wanting to do this little circle 20-mile hike for a long time, and that part of the shore is too much flooding going on for us to do it today, and we didn't start early enough, but that's definitely on the to-do list, just giving you guys a little taste of what's possible. You can walk all around here. Such a cool trail. Julie, what do you think of this trail so far?
It's nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful trail.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Seeing all the people felt like you're in somebody's like backyard, or you're not supposed to be there.
Oh,
that's like a Bible camp.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids.
There's a lot of
there.
people there, but
Some kids were being naughty, got yelled at by the leader.
But yeah, the trail kind of, like, there's some kind of convention thing, whatever it is, with TV. I guess that's probably like where they do the singing and
Maybe a concert.
yeah. Wow, volleyball nets, and you're literally just walking through all this stuff. This is a neat trail.
In 2500 BC.
Even more of a reason to do it.
Yeah, this is really cool. Wealthy Chicago families. No kidding, no kidding.
Shit flooding.
sorry, man. I tried to get him not to eat your Snickers. We got you.
I won't eat this one, I promise. What's up, everybody? Ice Age National Scenic Trail. That's where it starts. I've actually done a bike race out here in St. Croix Falls. And then Constantine's already done all of this. And we're out here in the southern Kettle Moraine Southeast South unit right there. So we're about to meet up with him. And that is where we're at the moment. He's heading this way. We're gonna go down and intersect with him. So, yep. And then prevent Lyme disease here. And this is the Ice Age trail marker right there. So should be fun. There's my car all by itself there. Hey, what are you doing taking the lead there, Julie? That's beautiful. Yeah, it feels good back to be on trail. Yeah, this feels great. This feels great. I don't even want to go home anymore. I want to keep on hiking.
It's so fucking good seeing other thru-hikers. Oh my god.
Alright, everybody, so met up with Constantine.
I get to see other thru-hikers. It's so nice.
Constantine, give me a couple words. How would you sum up the Ice Age Trail? You've done well more than half of it so far.
If I could write a book on this trail, it was titled 3 words.
Yeah.
It would be cows, corn, and mosquitoes.
You said corn, right?
I did say corn.
Okay. Favorite trail town so far?
Oh, God.
In this town? I know there's too many because you walk through a lot of towns, right?
Can you consider them trail towns?
Well, it's an undeveloped trail network, so I guess.
Favorite that I stayed in or favorite that I walked through?
I guess give me one of each, if you have one.
Okay.
Because I've been thinking about doing this trail for a while. I don't know if I'll actually do it, but it's interesting to actually meet up with somebody that's completing it.
Walk through all the cornfields?
Yeah, walk through all the cornfields.
Let's see. Favorite trail town that I would have stayed in would have been Rib Lake, probably.
Yeah?
That was in the eastern section.
Is it resortish, kind of?
No, it's one main strip.
Uh-huh.
The motel, there's not actually anybody on site.
Oh, okay.
They just leave the key for you when you roll in. And I had woken up at 5 to try to outrun some storms.
Uh-huh.
So I get there at 7:30 a.m. really hoping this door is open.
Yeah.
And I also had been holding in some business I needed to take care of running into town too.
Yeah.
So I run in, doors open, really, really cool spot, and everything's within walking distance.
That's awesome.
But then, favorite town I walked through?
What about the starting town? I've done a bike race in St. Croix, I think. That's where it begins, right?
St. Croix?
St. Croix, yeah. So I've done a bike race there. That's a cool little downtownish area, old town.
So Magpie, the one that drove me,
Uh-huh.
me off at the trail, we actually just pretty much drove to the trailhead.
And then you started.
Yeah, because it was late in the day and I still wanted to get into Centuria.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was like 4:30 and I still had 14 miles to go.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of didn't really play around with that town, but it looked cool.
Yeah.
Definitely looked resortish though.
Yeah, yeah. It's higher price, but like it's they got some good food choices there and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I think, even though that girl I was talking about, I think Lodi would be one of the favorite, the surrounding area around Lodi.
Lodi?
I didn't spend a lot of time in that town. I walked right through it, but the surrounding trail systems around that area, super well maintained and like pretty cool too. So.
Yeah, good trails.
And then Milton this morning, very historic old town.
Oh, really?
That's actually a town I can see myself. I was actually talking on my video that if I ever come back to Wisconsin, actually spend some time in that town.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's actually really, really interesting.
Nice. So you're basically walking through like an area where maybe like a couple dozen thru hikers have actually finished this trail, right? It's probably under 100, right?
Dude, I have no idea. all I see is cows.
Yeah.
I never see anybody out here.
Yeah.
I would say probably, yeah, underneath 100 though.
Give me some gear info. How many miles you got on those shoes? I remember you pushed. You pushed a lot of miles on the.
Dude, there is no tread. Like I'm slipping on everything, man.
That's how Nope wears his shoes.
Wears them all the way
There's
down?
nothing left.
Dude, I've tried sending my shoes to 3 separate towns, and for some reason, every time they bounce it forward, it does a circle around Wisconsin.
Huh.
So my shoes will go to Oshkosh,
Yeah.
then they'll go to Madison, then they'll go to Milwaukee, and they'll do that a couple times,
And
then return to the same post office.
That sucks.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
I've tried to get better shoes.
If you knew we were gonna meet up, you could have sent him to my house, but like it's hard to.
But that's the thing, every time I try to bounce them somewhere,
Yeah.
it just does a circle and returns to the same post office.
Huh. So future Ice Age trail hikers, keep a note that maybe you need to go to like a outfitter or something, or I don't know, send your shoes not the post office, try to send them somewhere else, right?
Well, not necessarily. I think I don't want to say anything bad about the post office area, but I think this one post office that I sent them to,
Yeah.
the person that ended up forwarding them wasn't really listening when I was trying to ask that I haven't forwarded here. So I think they either slapped on the label wrong or they did something incorrect and it was just circulating for a while.
Now it's just a mess up, big mess.
Because you walk by a post office, depending on your mileage,
Yeah.
almost every day. So you could really use the post office system well.
Yeah. But the resupplies here are pretty good, right? You walk into through towns like all the time, especially doing the mileage you're doing.
Yeah, if you do around 40 miles, you'll walk through a town or walk by a gas station.
Yeah.
Probably every day. There's a spot in the beginning that coming from Rib Lake to Antego. That's about 280, 430, 160-ish that you don't actually run through a town. It's a legit trail system.
Yeah.
But besides that, you run through somewhere you can resupply all the time.
That's good. So you can go pretty light on food if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, right now I made a mistake. I got 3 days of food.
Oh, really?
But I'm trying to really outrun this trail system, so
Yeah.
I could get away with probably 1 day of food, but I overpacked it. Yeah, you can go super light for sure.
I like the sound of that. We went like on the AT, we were like pretty light overall.
Right.
Like gear wise, food
Is
wise.
that the pack you had on the AT?
Yeah.
It almost fell off the trail. That's the pack you had on the AT?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Ice Age Trail.
Nice.
Now we're heading to get some food with Constantine. And
It's just nice to have other thru hikers around, man.
Yeah.
Like, for real, it's just having even somewhat of a culture around the trail again, instead of just cornfields, cows, and mosquitoes, man.
and town folk.
And
Town folk of the famous Ice Age Trail.
Sheriffs all day.
Sheriffs love Constantine. If you're a sheriff and you're watching this video, don't give them a hard time.
They're friendly.
Yeah.
It's just I get stopped and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Hey there, friend.
I mean, because I'm walking.
You looking for a ride into the jail?
Because I'm walking
I bet you are.
the road, man.
All right, everybody. Story time with Constantine.
Not a great story. Not a great story, but
Well, we were talking about Palante, and then
Yeah.
you said you ran into the co-owner of Palante.
ran into John Z, and he was hiking with his girlfriend. Sorry, I don't remember her name. And Jupiter.
And Jupiter. Jupiter, shout out to you.
Yep. So yeah, I ran into those guys. So Cy, Magpie, and I finished up the PNT, and Magpie's van was at Happy House, which is this go-to hostel on the PNT. And
Northern terminus.
it's about 200 miles before.
Okay.
So it's in Port. It's in Coupeville.
Okay.
And it's the only hostel I really knew about on the PNT because everybody goes there.
Yeah.
So we had to make our way back there after finishing the trail up to go get Magpie's van. We get back there and we hang out, we zero there, decompress after the trail, and the owners of Happy House are like, oh, we got some hikers coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know there were PNTers behind us. Who are they? They didn't know either. So I'm just hanging out in the living room, and these hikers come in, and it's John Z, Jupiter, and his girlfriend, and was able to talk to them for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
They were actually going down to PCT trail days, so they still had 200 miles left of the trail to do, but they were going down to PCT trail days, and yeah, I got to talk to them for a little bit. Cool
Nice.
People, and I bet they enjoyed the hell out of Happy House because awesome hostel.
That's awesome. How was it like hiking with Cy? He's busting out pretty
Oh
good
my
mile.
god, dude's insane, man.
I watched all of Cy's videos on the CDT, and I've given him shout outs before.
Dude is just so consistent
Yeah.
that it gets to the point that it's like, bro, take a break, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's a good hiker.
he's a really, really strong hiker. Very consistent. He'll wake up and almost always be out of camp by 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And it bothers him if he gets to camp before nightfall, even if you do 35 miles on the PNT, which
Yeah.
is a lot of miles out there.
Yeah.
So very strong hiker, and really looking forward to doing the AZT with him. And Magpie, we're gonna try to rock that southbound. Don't know how many days we're gonna do it in, but yeah, it was nice hiking with him, man.
Yeah. So you're gonna finish up the Ice Age Trail in how many days would you say?
Another 10 days.
Okay.
It's about 300 miles. I do bigger miles when I'm on the Ice Age.
Yeah.
Like today, when I'm sitting with you guys, I've already done 30.
That's
and
good.
So, I don't know. See how many more miles. I'm in no rush, but so doing bigger miles, like the next 4 days, I'll do 35s to 40. But then with the Nero, it averages out to
Yeah.
30 miles a day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 10 days. 10 days I'll be able to rock it out. I'll actually finish in 36 or 37 days. Got underneath the 40.
That's good.
It's flat.
It's fast.
It's flat, man. It's
Yeah.
really flat miles. Easy miles that you can keep weight off your back.
Especially you started with trail legs, that helped too.
Yeah, starting with trail legs from the PNT, no
Yeah.
less is
A much harder, let's just say, probably bushwhacking kind of trail.
Yeah, when you don't have to bushwhack and you don't have to climb straight up a mountain, if you're just walking all day, it's easy to put in some miles. Yeah, cruisy trail system. Wish there would be more culture around this trail, as in,
The local town sheriff should be enough culture for you now.
oh, man. The sheriffs know about the trail, but nobody else does.
Nobody else knows. So,
I've met some interesting people, some cool locals, but like I said, not a lot of culture around it being not
it's a new
huge-
trail.
Yeah, not a huge, and a lot of thru hikers don't look at this trail and be like, I really want to thru hike
Yeah.
that trail. Middle of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
who's finding this trail system?
Yeah.
So beautiful sections. Some sections are frustrating. You'll have days that are pure road walks.
And you also have, you know, pretty scenery too. Just your rolling hills. You kind of get some views. Nothing spectacular, but you get some views.
You'll have views in the valleys
Yeah.
every so often. Just the fauna out there. There's a lot of bright flowers, cool stuff. You walk by a lot of ponds, a lot of goddamn ponds.
Yeah. It's not a lake, it's a pond.
If I would start this, if I did this trail again, which, no, but if say I did this trail differently, I
Say
would
10 years from now, it's all trail and no more road walk, and you get enticed to come back and do the trail.
It's not gonna happen. Let's just say that right now. But say you did this trail system again, I would definitely start mid-September.
Constantine 2030 back on the Ice Age Trail with me.
If I ended up out here, that means I'm lost, man.
That means I was road walking.
I road walked somehow from the west
America and ended up on the ice.
I hiked from the west coast and somehow ended up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But I would definitely start in mid-September, let the mosquitoes die out a little more, because the first week or two was rough. Yeah, it's a good water sources. You don't really have to plan it out too much. Camp spots are a little bit iffy in sections.
Mm-hmm.
I've camped a lot by the sides of roads, which I'm not terribly happy about.
You had one story where a car pulled up by you or whatever and was kind of parked next to you for a couple hours.
So I came out of Portage, did about 38 miles.
No, I know Portage really well. There's a Petro or a TA truck stop near a ski area. Not the greatest area in the world. It's a small little town in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
But it's a big enough town that it attracts.
It attracts the locals that come from even smaller towns.
Yeah, it attracts kind of the culture that you don't want to be necessarily walking through in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So I couldn't camp in Portage because there was a festival going on, so I had to walk 4 or 5 miles out and get to this really middle of nowhere road. And I camped along enough roads on the Ice Age Trail that I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Camped there, and around 10 or 11 at night, I'm right on the side of a road, and an old Jeep comes up and literally parks. If he rolled 5 more feet, he would be in my tent. And he had his high beams on, top rack high beams, just flashing at me, revved his engine at me, and then shut off all his lights. And then he just sat there for 2 hours, opening and closing car doors, walking towards me, walking back towards his car, and never saying a word to me. Don't know what the hell this guy's doing.
Yeah.
Don't know what the hell these people are doing, what's going on. And just a really, really sketchy vibe. So I don't camp near roads anymore.
Yeah.
on the Wisconsin
On the
trail.
CDT, we were fine. I felt safe the whole time, right? On the
I
CDT,
did
it's
too.
like, it's different. They're
It
kind of
is.
used to your hiker, your bicycle tourist. Over here, it's kind of like,
It's more out west culture. It's more out west kind of outdoorsy.
yeah.
Like, when you're outdoorsy here, you're either out hunting or, I'm not saying necessarily these people were up to no good, but it felt that way. Like,
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, who knows what they were up to, but it felt very sketchy to me. Like, they saw me, they were within 5 feet of me, and they just parked there for 2 hours without saying a word to me, which is not cool.
Mysterious.
Yeah, not cool at all, man. That was not fun.
If you had to rate all the trails that you've done so far, can you rate the trails that you've done so far?
In order of
Now you're a triple
favorites?
crowner. You've done a bunch of other smaller trails. You've been on quite a bit.
Best to least favorite?
For yourself, yeah.
Could be that it's just recently, but I think it would go PNT, CDT, PCT, AT, OCT, Ice Age Trail, Pinhoti Trail.
Pinhoti Trail.
Pinhoti Trail is the last. It's only a 400-mile-ish through hike, but it's just a less. I don't know. It's not as well of a known trail system again.
Isn't there road walking there too?
It's a lot of road walking.
I think on the Pinhoti Trail is where Jupiter has a story where some guy said this is an area where you're gonna get killed or something by camping underneath a bridge.
I believe it.
Near my farm.
Yeah, I believe it. I had a story. I camped outside of this one area. It was about 35 miles off of coming out of this town, and it was all road walk. So the first time I got back to trail system, I was looking for a camp.
Yeah.
And it was an old ATV route, so I'm like, okay, I'll try to camp to the side in case somebody comes down. I hope they don't. And I'm camping there, and at 7 o'clock, this four-wheeler with like 3 people on it come by and stop, and they're like, you're camping next to a hunting lodge, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay. And you could tell they'd been drinking, and they're like, well, we're going to grab a couple drinks at the hunting lodge, we'll be back. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
So I go to sleep, and at midnight to 1 o'clock, a car and a four-wheeler come back. And these guys are just hammered drunk, and they kind of wake me up and won't necessarily leave me alone. So I get out of my tent and end up talking to them for an hour. And they were friendly people, but it was just having to deal with
Drunks.
these guys that are really, really wasted and kind of like leaning into me, falling into me. It wasn't the best experience.
Yeah. Did they not bother you afterwards? Did they let you camp there?
So this trail system was actually in the back of people's properties, but it was old railroad bed. So you could camp there, and after that hour long, they left around 1 a.m. or something. They didn't bother me again. Like I said, friendly people.
Yeah.
It's just, it was kind of impolite to
Yeah.
kind of make me have to get out of my tent at midnight. And
Yeah. They didn't know any better.
Yeah, so.
That's crazy. It's a good story, but when it's happening, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. So, I mean, it's not like I super dislike the ones at the end of the list.
Yeah.
It's just the other ones have been so epic.
Yeah. It's
that
just
it's
not
hard
you're,
to-
it's hard to number your favorites. They all have their best parts. It's just kind of, if you had to redo one or what, overall, what was your favorite? That's kind of how it goes.
It's definitely between PNT and PCT
Yeah.
and CDT. I love the CDT.
Yeah.
It's the out west trails. I love the desert. I love the mountain ranges. I love the wilderness aspect to it. AT always has a special place in the heart because
It's a special trail, yeah.
it's a special trail.
It's-
My first trail.
It's the first one that started all these other trails, pretty much.
So it always has a special spot in the heart. That being that down on the list doesn't necessarily mean I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just means I love the epicness of the out west trails, and AT has a special spot for sure. So I think that's the trail system.
Favorite part on the CDT?
Ooh,
Mine is Montana, probably Glacier. But
Glacier is Montana.
well, I'm just saying mine is Montana. Like
mine
the
is
Glacier
Montana.
part of Montana for me is probably the best.
Yeah.
I liked Anaconda too. I like that bowl coming before you come into Anaconda. You see that
Anaconda's
bowl?
cool.
That blew my mind right there. How cool that was. But
I thought I was gonna hate Wyoming. I loved Wyoming.
yeah, Wyoming was cool.
Even the basin area, man. I mean, easy miles, just a different type of beauty.
Yeah.
San Juan's brutally beat me down. Beautiful, but I'd say favorite part would be just the state of Wyoming.
Yeah.
I mean, the
All-
Wind River Range, the basin. You've had every type of hiking within that little bit.
It throws its best,
Yeah.
beauty into that, into that area of the CDT, and it's just, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Walking out of Rollins, like you get that, and then it just turns into this epicness.
And especially in my mind's eye, as I was getting closer to Wyoming, I just kept picturing tumbleweeds going by.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be nothing.
Yeah,
And then
but you get these majestical horses in like some
Yeah.
areas. Remember that, like in the basin, and get all these like huge horses and.
And I had grown accustomed to cows at that point, so I really
Yeah.
enjoyed talking to my cows once again.
Hey, Mr. Cow.
Shout out to cows. If you guys weren't out here on the Wisconsin Trail, there'd be nobody to talk to.
me and Constantine started talking to cows together, and now he's still talking to
Yeah.
cows, except in a different part of the
Oh
country.
yeah, Baskets and I on the CDT, we would always give shout outs to the cows when we were getting their water.
Yeah.
We're like, hey guys, we're just getting a little bit of your water, man.
Don't mind if we do here real quick.
Let me just grab a little bit of that. All right, I'm gone. So yeah, I mean, that was good.
All right, thanks, Constantine. If I have any more questions, I'll
Yep,
do something else. It's windy here.
it is.
Julie, you asked the mountain lion story?
Yeah, I want to hear a mountain lion story.
Because I've never seen one on trail, so that's pretty cool.
They see you.
Yeah.
They definitely see you.
Yeah, I know they're out there.
So this was actually a really cool experience. It was kind of a send-off on the CDT for me. So literally last day on trail, DB and I break camp. DB is about 100 feet to 100 yards behind me. I'm not good with math and distances. So I'm walking and I see a big rustle in this bush. And at this point I've been on trail long enough knowing it's not birds in a bush or it's not a small critter in a bush.
Yeah.
It's either a bear or a mountain lion. So I keep walking and it keeps rustling. So I stop and the rustling in the bush stops and the bush is like right here and the trail's right here. So there's this little window in this bush and I'm looking, trying to figure out what is in there, and it's just a mountain lion's face staring
That's crazy.
right at me. Literally, I'm 10 feet away, if that.
That's crazy.
And so I stand there not really knowing what to do.
It's like from here To the trash can,
to
you're
the trash
saying.
cans. It's so close. So I stand there, I'm staring at it, like it's close enough I can make details out on its face and like look in its eyes. So it's looking at me thinking, hey, should I kill this guy or should I just go on? So it looks at me for a little bit and then bounds away. So I wait for DB to catch up to me and I tell him about it. And he picks up 2 rocks in his hands and he's like, all right, I'm hiking with you the rest of the day. And so we hiked that rest of the valley together for 10 miles.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because last day on trail, like I hadn't seen a mountain lion, I don't think, on the CDT.
Yeah.
And then the last day, something that like elusive is right there in your face and it didn't kill me. So
that's awesome.
That was A+.
I've never seen one. My experience was in Glacier. I filmed this. We see a little bear crossing the road, and I'm like, that's a grizzly. That's a grizzly. And then somebody's like, yep. And then people are coming, dumbass. That's a brown little baby bear or whatever.
It felt like a grizzly, man.
Man, you just had to have been there. You just had to have been there.